This is One Sentence News, a daily podcast featuring 3 news stories with a sentence-long summary and 1 sentence of context apiece. I'm Colin Wright. This is a sponsored message. I've been using Anchor as my podcast host for a while now, and it's been a pleasure to use. Anchor offers benefits that most other hosts do not. It's free to use, but it also has a collection of tools that allow you to create a podcast completely within the Anchor website or smartphone app. They distribute your show to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all the other distribution channels without any additional effort on your part, and you can make money from your podcast without any minimum audience size. So you can use it as a more traditional podcast host like I do, but it's also got everything you need to start a podcast from scratch. If you're keen to give it a shot, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. It's Friday, December 23rd, 2022. And just a quick note, I am taking next week off from One Sentence News. I'm taking a quick break from the news overall, actually, which I think is a healthy thing to do periodically. So I will talk to you again the first Monday of 2023. Happy New Year, and with that said, let's talk about the news. From the New York Times, whiteout conditions and sub-zero temperatures upend holiday plans across the U.S. Forecasters are calling the weather system currently rolling across the continental United States a once-in-a-generation storm, and cities in the impacted area have already seen canceled schools and flights, closed businesses, strong winds, dangerously low temperatures, and deep snow. A slew of new cold-related records have already been set across the blizzard-hit expanse of this storm, and nearly 100 million Americans were under some kind of winter storm advisory or warning as of yesterday. More than 10,000 flights had been disrupted or canceled as of yesterday afternoon, and government officials across the country have been encouraging people to stay home and to be incredibly careful if they can't avoid traveling, as simply going outdoors in some of the afflicted areas can be dangerous. From Reuters, EU countries agree on gas price cap to contain energy crisis. EU energy ministers have agreed to a price cap on natural gas as part of a larger effort to moderate ballooning energy prices and prevent a more potent energy crisis across the bloc. This cap won't be triggerable until mid-February of next year, and it still needs to be formally approved by individual EU countries in writing before it comes into effect. But once it's official, no one operating within the cap's operational range will be able to buy gas at more than 35 euros per megawatt hour above the reference liquid natural gas price, which should have the net effect of keeping local prices moderated while also keeping EU nations from competing with each other for scarce energy resources, which would inflate prices for everyone involved. After a fair amount of negotiation with the German government, which has been somewhat skittish on this issue, there's also a safeguard in place that would suspend the cap if the EU faces a substantial gas shortage or if the cap seems to be leading to big, harmful economic consequences. And from the Associated Press, Taliban bar women from university education in Afghanistan. On Tuesday, Afghanistan's Taliban-led government announced that women would no longer be able to attend university, effective immediately, a move that has sparked international condemnation and local protests. This is just the most recent example of the Taliban taking rights and freedoms away from women in the country, and it follows another recent ban on girls attending middle and high school, and a decision that women cannot work most jobs, are banned from parks and gyms, and must cover themselves head to toe while in public spaces. A government official in the wake of those aforementioned protests and that international condemnation has said that the women are to blame for this, as they were showing up to classes wearing the wrong things and were taking classes on subjects like agriculture and engineering, which he says are inappropriate for women to learn about. He went on to say that, quote, girls should learn, but not in areas that go against Islam and Afghan honor, end quote. If you're finding some value in One Sentence News, consider leaving a quick review wherever you get your podcasts and/or sharing the show with a friend. You can find out more about this show or subscribe to the email version at onesentencenews.com. And you can support this and other related projects, like the Let's Know Things and Brain Lenses podcasts, at understandery.com.